Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the beatzillapdx official show. I'm your host, beatzillapdx officially, and this is going to be an election 2024 special report. And so we're going to do this a little different. This video, of course, is a tape delayed video. So if you're watching this, and it appears to be live, it is not live, but nonetheless, you guys can go ahead and still be active in the chat. And, we just won't be able to greet everybody in the chat, but we will do the member roll call at the end of this broadcast. So with that being said, we shall get right on into the beginning. I just wanted to let you know, once again, this is an election 2024 special report. We're going to have an election day preview. So that's what we're doing this evening. So to start us off, let's hear something.
In the last 100 years. And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of things is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been.
We'll comment on the former President Donald Trump's remark about women and whether they like it or not. And listen, it actually is, I think, very offensive to women in terms of not understanding their agency, their authority, their right, and their ability to make decisions about their own lives, including their own bodies. And this is just the latest on a series of reveals by the former president of how he thinks about.
I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
Living off borrowed time, the clock tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a monthly with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master ice. And living the true gods, giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
All right. We are talking about this special report right here. The election is just days away. And, the craziness and the madness and all the ads is about to be over. Thank goodness. So I know I'm tired of seeing all of the political ads in my neck of the woods. I'm sure you guys are too. So like I said, tonight is going to be a little different style of a broadcast. But I wanted to go ahead and chime in on what we're looking at, what we're seeing, my forecast, not really making a prediction, but just wanted to see some of the closing events and arguments of the week leading into the election. I know most and a lot of, I can't say most, but a lot of Black folks are going to be spending their November 5th evening having couch night. So for those who are voting for the couch, when it comes down to the presidential election, salute to all of you. And I don't say you are wrong at all. You are well within your right to exercise your vote that way. And if you're exercising your vote in silence, it is still exercising your vote. And so salute to you. Don't let anybody tell you different. And there's going to be a lot of things you're going to hear out here in the Express over these next few days. As time is winding up, I imagine over the weekend, it should be pretty crazy. However, the funny thing is with the recent Democratic targeting of Black men, we've seen some things pop up. Namely, these two events. What do Black men want? This was one of those things Roland Martin was affiliated with. And then as you see, BET called up on their celebrities. So, and what's funny about this with the BET event here is BET isn't even Black owned. It's Black targeted marketing, but it's not Black owned at all. It hasn't been since Bob Johnson sold it. So it's kind of interesting to see them now take an interest in Black men in politics when they made such a great effort of making sure that there was no Black media on BET itself. Ed Gordon is probably one of the last people I remember on BET. Ed Gordon and Tavis Smiley, and they have been on the radio for years now. Long gone off the scene. They were gone before they were off TV before Barack Obama even ran for president. And then you look at some of the people that were popular around Barack Obama's presidency in the Black community. There were one who was just recently passed. That's the Eagle out of that's Toy and Rain Reloaded. That's his guy. Is it the Brown Eagle or the Black Eagle out there in DC? He just recently passed. Back then, of course, Roland Martin had his hand on CNN. He really messed that up. Roland Martin was on TV One and CNN at the same time. He lucked out again because of how Warren Ballentine went down. And they just said Roland Martin is extremely lucky. And I think he's well aware of that. He tries to boast arrogant and loud now, but trust me, if it was not for Warren Ballentine getting hit, wasn't nobody checking for Roland. Nobody was checking for Roland. This conversation was going in a completely different direction. But I think that's why they gravitated toward Roland, because Roland's, I guess, radio savvy side, it worked for what they were doing at Radio One. And again, you know, as his professional side, his broadcasting chops on the radio definitely made sense. However, of course, him being himself, the approach of conversation is not the same. Warren Ballentine was more of a grassroots type of radio personality. And then, you know, you had not so tied in to the DC scene. Definitely was part of a fraternity. And well, is, but definitely had, like, Roland Martin would sub in for him. So I don't think people understand, like, Roland Martin just didn't just come out and like kill him like gangbusters. No, it took somebody else going down, and he was fortunate enough to have the relationships there to pull that off. And then the network kind of folded. Michael Imhotep came on in the scene and tried to fill that slot. Things went awry there, and the rest is history. And now here they all are talking together on YouTube with the rest of us. Well, I can't say rest of us because we aren't by no means together, and they're doing their thing, and New Black Media is doing ours. But one thing that they are is tied to that old DC, Clinton, Hillary, Obama, Biden, all of that wave, which pretty much you're seeing the cap being put on that bottle, I believe, right now, as things are standing right now. Again, Tuesday could be a whole different story, and Kamala Harris might be the winner. And or, you know, maybe like this thing could go into the 2000 election, and we're having runoffs and recounts, nationwide recounts, ballots getting lost. I mean, when people talk about election denying, it's very interesting how much people forget their own history. And I guess it makes it kind of easy to do so because we had 9/11 the very next year. So there's something that, like, oh, and not to mention right before 9/11 was Aaliyah's death. So there was like back-to-back tragedies here. So you couldn't really miss it. But, you know, at the same time, we remember because we were voters. We have been voters since throughout all that time. So I remember what was going on there. And that's how we started getting acquainted with the Electoral College. And then so Bush had 8 years. And then came Barack Obama. And he had 8 years. 8 years with Biden right there. Now, over the last 4 years, the last 8 years, half of those have been Democrat. Out of all of that time, how are Black folks faring out with the Democrats? Why are we still the target as Black men of everybody's aggression? Here's something I want to know. Y'all have seen the whole situation with Mark Cuban? Well, first, let's start with the Trump part of it. So Trump is talking about illegal immigration and wanting to keep women safe, whether they like it or not. And that's what an American leader is supposed to be doing, because, again, as commander-in-chief, his protection of American citizens is not really, we like it or not. What difference does it make? Whoever's in that job has to make that decision and make that call, right? And hopefully they make the right call and keep us out of war and further destruction and high prices here, high prices there, high prices everywhere. You're going to give people who can't afford rent a tax break on a down payment that they would never be able to get up to afford to ever get a match. So in the same time, though, illegals are going to get money now for a down payment. Don't see how that's a benefit to Black America. So another thing that they have done is throughout this election, especially when it's targeting Black men, have talked about Black men's sexism and misogyny. You know what? I think I need to play Black folks talking about Black sexism, Black male sexism first, and then I'll play the other part, because, see, let's be fair. Let me get this in here.
The way some Black men see the LGBT.
Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, so they had their BET, fake Black Man Summit, last minute this stitch effort to get Black males out to vote. But see, Black men don't want to vote for Kamala Harris because we got all of this sexism going on over here. And you know what's funny? Well, it's the DNC talking points, because you're supposed to be addressing Black men. And another group that has been pretty much ignored while all of the talk has been about women. Women. But I thought trans women were women. I haven't heard one mention about inclusion of trans women. The interesting part about that is the trans community isn't complaining. But let's see what they shoehorn in with Black men just now.
LGBTQ plus community.
Say that again, buddy.
Or any other kind of ism, without talking about the way some Black men see the LGBTQ plus community. They see it as getting more attention than some of the concerns of Black men.
Well, it's funny, because the LGBTQ community only seemed to come out the woodwork talking about their lives matter when we were talking about Black lives, particularly Black men being executed at the hands of white police officers. We heard a lot then. The issue of bathrooms and trans athletes in sports. Notice how that's not even being mentioned right now, but somehow they're working this into it being a conversation or a topic of discussion with us. This is not on Kamala Harris's platform. So how did you just put all of that into what Black men are talking, well, black men feel that this is getting more attention. It has. This event would not be necessary if black men weren't getting ignored. The proof of benign neglect is that you had an event on TV like this.
And that is a real, that is something you hear constantly. So,
and so let's hear what Ben Crump says.
Everything has to be taken in context. When you think about civil rights, we must remember that if they can discriminate against us.
How? Sexuality based. See, this is now where they're talking to the stupid now. See, we've been getting on this lineage-based, status-based wave. And so now what they have to keep taking you back to, see, they haven't turned the page and moved forward. They're going to take you back and start talking about skin color. Yeah, let me let him finish, and I want to elaborate on that part.
we got black.
Okay, well, that was it. Okay, so number one, Ben Crump. Our struggles are not tied into each other. And the civil rights movement was infiltrated with the agenda of putting gay rights in the mix by Bayard Rustin, the CIA FBI informant operative. So looking at how you're talking and still bringing that up, that's essentially COINTELPRO. For all intents and purposes, that's what that is. And see, something else I want y'all to pay attention to when you hear that on the left, where all of a sudden they're trying to rope the LGBT trans into the conversation. This tells me, oh man, before we start getting straight to black issues, what do black men want? Well, we can't talk about all the isms if we don't talk about this. It ain't got nothing to do with what black people want. You over here talking to black men. Black men ain't in the trans community. Because black men over there are calling themselves women. And if you don't call them a woman, then you can lose your career. So what are we talking about here? I know how inconvenient that whole not defining a woman moment is now. Because all you're talking about is a woman's reproductive care. Okay, well, because women can have, men can have periods too. Trans women can have periods. Well, then why aren't they here at the forefront screaming to get their abortions too? Because this is the logic that the Democrats have been forcing on America the last 4 years. This is supposed to be reality, right? Where are they now? Why aren't they complaining about being left out? Trans women are women. So if women have reproductive rights, then trans women also need their reproductive rights, right? Don't look at me like it don't make sense now. Y'all made it make sense for all these last few years, and we was crazy, and we were transphobes, right? So again, when you look at the big scope of Tuesday, let's consider what we are voting for. We're voting for the big ball of confusion that we'll go and pivot. See, why are they so quiet on the LGBTQ thing right now? Why? That's not the running point. Trans women don't have any say in reproductive rights. What am I missing? maybe I'm confused. Seems to me that woman's right to choose should also be a trans woman's right to choose. Where is the trans community, and why aren't they complaining about being left out? Because every time the Black community comes out for something, here they are to ride the bandwagon. Why are they not doing that now? If you're going to tell me that they can have children, where are they now? Why isn't it important to push that now? You know why? Because it doesn't make logical sense. And then you now can see that all of that philosophy they was pushing on you about what was what, they knew was total hogwash. Because if they believed it to be true, as much as they pushed it down your throat, why are they not running on it? Miss, I performed the first gay marriage of California. Oh, there's no boasting of that right now. How you think you get there? That's how. That is how. So, like I said, misogyny. Black men have been the target of this word to label us misogynists. Why we don't want to vote for a woman president. Just why we didn't vote for Stacey Abrams. Just why we didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. Because there's so much. We need to address the misogyny and sexism in the Black community. Well, on The View, where it is women hosts, this happens.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
How does that fly? All the women that have been around Trump have been idiots and stupid, huh? I don't think anybody ever called Omarosa. They might have, who knows? Somebody probably have. When it comes to Omarosa, isn't she an attorney? That's just one aspect of it. But there's not anybody intelligent. There's not an intelligent female around Donald Trump. And it's all he's had is female. Really vile and ugly and all of this and all of that. Why isn't that happening with this? It's so bad that, people are making excuses because, again, they have to make excuses for Biden too. And I'm really trying to see, I guess tomorrow The View will probably respond. But you can't sit up here and keep calling one side misogynistic and they hate women and blah, 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 this. And in the same breath, have this guy on your platform immediately dissing women. And then
Donald
this
Trump,
is a
you
misogynist?
never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women. Every woman that's ever been around Trump, he says, you are weak, you stupid. And now they want everybody to be stupid in America to believe that they did not hear what they heard when they heard what they heard. when they heard
in the
this
last
right
100
here.
years. And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been.
Yeah. So let's see what CNN what they had to say, and let's see how they wanted to try to clean this up for old Joe and the Democrats. See what they say.
Bakari, he was in his house, the White House. He was in his house doing this, and is that there are places that he can be useful, but he's not everywhere like you might expect a sitting president to be for his vice president.
I don't know that I would expect this president to be everywhere in this moment. Look, a critical, any coach will tell you, CEO will tell you, a critical element of running a team and winning is assessing the strengths and weaknesses of your team member.
This man was the youngest, Joe Biden was the youngest senator, and now he's the oldest president. This is how long this man has been in politics. He is not at all new. And up until recent years, much better speaker than Kamala Harris, especially off the cuff.
So you allocate them in the right way. Joe Biden.
Absolutely false. Joe Biden has never been an arena speaker. You think speaking on the floor and on the House, all of those other videos showing you the exact opposite. Now you finna tell me, well, he's never been a great. No, the dude is getting old and goofy, but he said what he said.
And by the way, as someone who had a stutter growing up, it's very obvious to me there's an apostrophe at the end of supporters there. He was referring to the garbage spewed by supporters.
That is not what he said. There was apostrophe there. No, he doubled down on what he was talking about.
Not simply the supporters themselves. But Joe Biden has been on the campaign trail. He's best getting ice cream in Maryland, like he was today. As we best you folks. He was
what?
You use people where they are best. You put Obama in a big arena, you put Michelle in a big arena, and you put Joe Biden in front of a bunch of union people doing retail politics.
You can argument.
You put Michelle Obama in front of men again, and what did she do? Insulted men. You put Barack Obama in front of black men. What happened? He insulted black men. What are you talking about?
They would be fine if Joe Biden wasn't anywhere near a microphone between now and next Tuesday.
Let me just accept the most charitable framing of this, which you just gave. Why is he sitting in front of a laptop at the exact same moment Kamala Harris is out on his backyard trying to give the closing argument to her campaign? What in the world is he doing? Now, I don't accept your framing of it personally, because I actually do believe he, Harris, the Democratic Party, and most of their campaign do believe that half the country is garbage. They've all
and you know how people have acted. Stupid. All of this, brow beaten. Yeah, a lot of people can say it's true. For black men, blame black men, and black men did this, and black men do better. As in to say, you black men are already deficient. You need to do better. My daddy said he don't trust anybody that wants too much money. He found them suspicious. Okay.
also said people who go to Trump rallies are Nazis. And so it's pretty apparent the disdain with which they hold.
Yeah, that's very true.
Already litigated it in Kamala's speech tonight.
But as a tactical matter today,
No, but you don't just get to say
why in the
that.
world is Joe Biden giving remarks at the same
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I'll give you that. I'll give you. He got to, because he's right. Bakari sellers, boy, truly buck broken. And so let me see. Okay, bear with me 1 second. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to hit a little bit of that Black Man Summit clips, these clips that are TikTok. Well, actually, first, let's see little snippets of Kamala Harris, and then we'll get to that. Come on now.
Donald Trump intends to use the United States military
Goodness, that doesn't even make sense. Really?
against American citizens who simply disagree with him. People within.
Now, everybody knows when he was talking about enemy from within, he was absolutely talking about illegal immigrants. And this whack this here. And they knew he was talking about illegal immigrants. Come on now.
Have got to stop treating immigration as an issue to scare up votes in an election. And instead, treat it as the serious challenge that it is that we must finally come together to solve.
Yeah, by voting you out because you're the administration that broke the border. So the best resolve to fixing this problem, since you created it, is to correct it ourselves. There is the check and balance of America. You screwed up, border czar. You and your boss Biden, you came in there and said, we're going to do all of this to spite Joe Biden. And you know, just to spite Joe Biden. And moment one, we're going to do this.
We had a very busy and active day today, as you all know. But I wanted to take a moment to go through the 15 executive actions, or highlights of them, I should say, and some of the steps that the president asked agencies to take today. You should have all received copies of the executive orders as well as the accompanying fact sheets, but I want to take this moment to highlight them for the American public who are watching at home. He signed a proclamation effective immediately, halting further funding or construction of the previous administration's border wall and terminating the so-called national emergency used to wastefully divert billions for wall construction. Also today, President Biden sent an immigration bill to Congress. The U.S. Citizenship Act modernizes our immigration system. It provides hardworking people who've enriched our communities and lived here for decades an opportunity to earn citizenship. The president's priority reflected in the bill are to responsibly manage the border, keep families together, grow our economy, address the root causes of migration from Central America, and ensure that America can remain a refuge for those fleeing prosecution. With that, I'd love to take your questions. Zeke, why don't you kick us off?
And that's very clear what They did. So you can't say immigration, don't use immigration. You guys ran on immigration. People, kids in cages and kids in cages. Yeah. On that one, message from the people who don't care.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
I will work with Democrats and Republicans to sign into law the border security bill that
No,
Donald Trump killed.
please don't, because that's not a border security bill. And everybody who has ran through it, looked at the bill, and have spoken on why they felt that bill was a bad bill. And all of the money that was going there, you're talking about strengthening the border, but you did not mention anything about deportation. Americans are in favor of deportation. So no, your bill is not going to cut it. And we aren't going to look at it as the strongest anything, because you're in office right now and you opened up the border to cause this problem. There's no need for Congress to do anything when you yourself, you and Joe Biden sat there with his stroke of the pen and caused this problem.
Was Attorney General of a border state, I saw the chaos and violence caused by transnational criminal organizations that
You understand? She always says, I lived in a border state, like she was living in San Diego. Yeah, California is a border state. My state borders California. I never refer to anybody like, oh, we're right next to Cali. I live next to Disneyland. I'm in Portland, Oregon. The border is at least, well, first she started in San Francisco, but now she's talking about the state, so she's in Sacramento. Sacramento is closer to here. Ooh-wee. No. For everybody who lives in California, I mean, I lived in the border state. Who from California do you ever hear say that?
I took on. And when I am president, we will quickly remove those who arrive here unlawfully, prosecute the cartels, and give Border Patrol the support they so desperately need.
Why aren't you sending them back now? You gave them amnesty. And another part of that is giving all of these people here amnesty. That's not a border bill. Yeah, that's not a border bill at all. Now let's see the men's the shield farm turnouts.
And you believe that is?
I don't believe that.
No, I'm saying, but it is a pervasive.
And they have this.
Well, they are. That's crazy.
That's what it is. They have this in their mind,
right?
That as New Face said on the video, the stimulus checks.
That's one of the dumbest and dishonest, and it's a line that basically is an insult. Black men and men in general and people in general, black men and women, have said the economy. When they say the economy is the main issue, why is it when it comes down to black men that it's the stimulus check? Everybody says the economy is an issue. The economy was better under Trump. It wasn't just Black America. So why is it when talking to Black America, you keep bringing up stimulus checks? That's not the economy. And so that's insulting, because gas prices, school, tuitions, and your kids in private school, or You know, car insurance, house insurance, apartment insurance, rental insurance, health insurance. All of these things which are expenses, going food and grocery shopping. This is the economy. Travel, leisure, all of these prices are up. While there are multiple Fortune 500 companies closing business, closing their stores all over the place. Banks closing banks, moving states of operation. That's the economy. For some reason, they keep a bunch of stimulus checks. That's what it comes down to us. And that's again, you talking to black men like they stupid. And when you say, well, man, just sit. Everybody you talking to and that's watching this ain't no sexy red fan. And so that's extremely insulting.
Paying attention to things like that, and they're not hearing the information that needs to be heard.
Right.
You know, the stimulus checks, the locking people up for selling weed.
Right.
These are.
She definitely did do that and laughed about it.
Street topics that's happening.
Sure.
That's all I keep hearing from.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I feel like it's really important that we as men in this room we give them the facts today.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Who are all the black people that got pardoned under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? If you guys was able to put it in the chat, please do.
There was a specific reason that Donald Trump, even though he didn't get those checks out, there was a specific reason he delayed them so he could put his name on it. He knew
who it affect and who it would meet. Again, that is not representative of the, or it doesn't represent the entirety of the economy conversation. When people say things were better financially under Trump, that is most definitely not a stimulus. The stimulus didn't come until the pandemic. It's a shutdown during the pandemic. Why would anybody be boasting about that? Understanding, saying things were good financially, then we had the pandemic, then was expedient with the stimulus checks. But that doesn't say that the entire economy, the reason why we had stimulus checks is because there was a complete shutdown. So, I mean, and so many places were closed and had to close up. So it's so foolish that they keep repeating this sexy red line, your stimulus. It's stupid.
Maternal mortality, Republican-led abortion bans. As Black men, our primary responsibility in this humanity is to protect. And I think protecting Black women begins and ends with listening to them about what.
Well, we get these folks out here doing all kind of madness, don't we? Yeah. Why is that so small? I'm not understanding what's going on here. Let me see something. This is looking really janky on my end. So, what here? Let me do this. Why is this window acting funny? This is weird. Okay. There we go. That was strange. All right. Window's acting real funny. So let me go back to what he just tried to sneak in there.
In this humanity is to protect Black women.
Sir, you protect the women. You see this? This is called the institution of marriage. Something that happens when you get married is you have a woman, and your number one job right there is to protect your woman who is becoming your wife. That's why she's taking your name. So you guys become the union, and that you start seeing other people amongst your ilk doing the exact same thing, doing this thing here, and then bringing about children. Now you have a community. See how Black women now start getting protected? But the one thing that you guys keep promoting is the breaking down and dismantling of that. So misogyny and it's imperative and this, we protect Black women. I can't stand to hear the DNC shills talk about anything. All you dudes are women worshipers. And not in a good way. It's a lot of that over there. Then they got the 1972 activists reborn over here. Aren't you glad? I'm glad. We done came from this mountaintop. We're gonna. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, I'm glad. You guys up here, it's Black men need to take a look at the mirror and protect Black women. Well, brother, for those of us who chose to marry Black women, we are protecting Black women. For those of us fathers with daughters, we're protecting Black women. With Kamala Harris, who's married to Doug Emhoff, it is his job to protect his Khazarian Indian woman. I don't see the connection. It's bad. Are you saying we need to look out and make sure we could get our wives and daughters abortions? That's what you're talking about? I mean, because truth be told, if we didn't have medical apartheid, their health care would be in a whole different situation, which, truth be told, this country actually owes to Black women, especially the pharmaceutical side of the game and the female gynecological. It's just because remember, they were experimenting on slaves. So actually, America really definitely owes Black women something on their health care right there. But here's the other thing that you get right now is a bunch of young Black women in their 30s, early 30s in some cases, with their doctor telling them, oh man, look, you got a little cyst. You need to go ahead and get a hysterectomy. Take it all out. And like I said, when there was a little wave of that going around, I also noticed at the same time that they were experimenting with trying to talk about transplant wombs for trans men and trans women or whatever, however you're identifying it. But now they have nothing to say. They don't feel the least bit left out. I just, women's reproductive rights, really. They were trying to do all of that, pushing hysterectomies on Black women. So, that would be an element that a black woman might want to look out for other black women. But no. Oh, well, she said this. She's spoken on it, but she has made no legislation. Don't tell me what she talked on. That's the woman who repeats back to you, just like Joe Biden, all the bad things that's happened to you, not proposing what to do to correct anything. I am the one and the only one to speak on this, right? And you ain't got near initiative for it. Let's hear some more.
Yes, indeed.
That's why we're here. And I think protecting black women begins and ends with listening to them about what makes them feel safe. They overwhelmingly support the right to choose what happens with their
Where
body.
on earth are black men talking about abortion? And where are you at with your woman talking about abortion? See, these are these things that, like when you're dating, you have a potential mate. I'm sure these women will tell you that they want to get married, but also tell you they don't feel they need to divulge if they done been to the hitman or not. But they want you to put a ring on it. Well, let me tell you something, fellas. If you got a woman like that in your midst, run, because that woman is overtly selfish. And she will never be able to see you for yourself past the dreams of the innocent blood that she has already shed, while still trying to con you into believing that she's a good person. And I'm not one to sit up here and really be judgy on this, but, you know, too many people are getting into the call it something else. No, you know what you're doing, so I don't support that. And stop bringing that to us. Now, because you got black churches on board with that wickedness, well, we already know that they have sold their souls a long time ago, so it's nothing new. And for all of the people who are out here, don't you ever think G.E. Patterson would have co-signed this. The Church of God in Christ is looking crazy right now. Drew Shear, I'm with her.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Yeah. Let me play this, and I'm gonna chime in on this black church thing real quick too.
A majority of over 75 to 80%. I remember when Trump was president last, and my sister was living in Memphis. I'm from Chicago. There was a KKK rally in Memphis, Tennessee at the time. And I just remember how unable I felt to protect her.
Well, damn you. Is your sister single? She have a man there? Because rallies happen everywhere. She's in Memphis, and a rally, KKK rally, happened in Memphis. And, you know, I gotta wonder, is it new wave people, or are these people tethers? Because why do every time they talk about white supremacy, they talking in fear? The hell is wrong with these people? Like, so I gotta wonder, because these scary coons are a throwback to like, man, you know what they do to us? Where are these people from? Man, the KKK was walking out felt helpless. You bitch. What's wrong with you? What am I gonna do? You can act like a man. Ladies, I know that you look at dudes like this and be like, oh yeah, he got it. This dude ain't no man. He ain't no protector. And just to even be more real with you, ladies, if you mess with fellas like this, you better most definitely make sure you wear a condom. Because some in this, some ladies will tell themselves that, man, this is the man, he understands me. No, he don't. This is the talk of you just keep it a buck. If somebody tampering with some Bucci cat, and he coming up here trying to say this ain't no dude who really got no game to popping no women. Women probably overdo it. But see, this is the thing around that Democrat plantation. It's built to sell you fantasy and not deliver on reality. So if y'all look at dudes like this, and because he talking, we got to protect black women, he gonna be the first one screaming if something really pop off. He ain't stepping in front of nothing for no female. That sounds good, but we got to listen to him. And that ain't got nothing to do with protection. That ain't got nothing to do with analyzing a threat. If she can go to the damn doctor or not. I need to listen. I'm not listening to them taking advice from my wife on self-defense. The hell is wrong with you? No. I got this. See, that's the manly experience in you. We're back when they were allowing men to be men. But I'm of the old school. I know what my hands can do. So again, I'm not finna sit up here and co-sign sucker shit, because that's what this is. And when you have people talking like this, protecting, one of the best ways to protect black women is being a man. Not a sucker, not a simp coming in here with some soft gynecological conversation in a room full of men. This, ladies, ain't it. And so real dudes ain't gonna be around nothing like this. This is faulty as all get out. No wonder they talking about LGBTQ and stuff off up in here. This is tampered with central, ladies, because unfortunately, men are probably at the same rate of sexual molestation victims. And, because of the society, you don't really hear a lot of these stories. Being in, when you're around trying to end recidivism, walking down some of that trauma in these individuals, a lot of that, I have found a lot of that is part of it. So when you see people's behaviors, you always know, like from a female's perspective, oh, I think somebody been messing with her. Same applies with these dudes. You just got to know how to see it. And so I just had to say that part, because going forward, we're about to hit this election. And so for those of us in the grassroots and New Black Media, we're embarking on another season. And I'm glad that these guys had such a moment like this, and also Roland Martin, because next season, we got more house cleaning to do. And all these people who think they finna come around Black America and con Black America for a political organization need to be put in a certain position, and most definitely not on this platform to look like this ever again. because that is all treason. And all traitors need to kind of get called out. So for something that I'm saying for myself, I will most definitely be looking at the obstacles of empowerment from within. And I think that's a wise thing to do, because now the political side is going to take care of itself. What of all these people who have sat in black folks' face, berated black folks, belittled black folks, lied to black folks, lied on black folks, and had to try to tell us how wrong we were, misuse our words, misuse our position, lie to the world, stressing a lie that Kamala Harris is Black American. And I see so many people walking things back right now. Shout out to Candace Owens on doing a diligent dig into Kamala Harris. So for once and for all, she ain't black. So we got to protect black women. Yeah, and she ain't one.
And that's a direct correlation to that becoming another possibility, just the emboldening of the people who seek to destroy us and to destroy our mother, sisters, nieces, and the women in our lives. So I think that
by not getting abortions, they'll be destroyed. What the hell is he saying? That makes no sense. And this, why are you in here talking to men like this? This is not manly conversation at all. You know, man, they're coming after you. Ladies, if you got a room full of men and they talking like this versus talking about what they plan to do, you in the wrong room of men. This is beta male central right here. If you want to marry these guys up, just know what you're getting. You'll be the one going to see what's the noise that you're hearing downstairs. It'll be you going to check.
it's an issue of paramount importance to us and to me.
Yeah.
What the hell is this tether talking about? It is of no importance to me. Last one. Do black men support Kamala Harris?
To think that there aren't some men out there who simply don't want to vote for women.
It's disingenuous to say that. It's disingenuous. It's not
exactly. There are some men who don't want to vote for a woman.
Sure.
It's not a lot. I don't believe it is a lot at all.
You don't?
I don't. Not in our community.
Well,
now what I will say is, again, to what we were talking about in terms of parity earlier.
At least he did clarify that. Not in our community, because it's like you got a matriarchal society. And then you're going to turn around and say that. That's crazy.
The founders of Project 2025 really don't want a woman as president.
Right.
And their women don't want a woman as president.
There's some
That is
Christians
not
that
being
don't.
held to the same standard. So there is, and they justify it by using Christianity.
Yeah.
So there is a sense here that what the president, who, let's be honest, he put his life on the line.
Yes.
He put his family's life on the line.
And then he got ran out by Nancy Pelosi and the Clintons and the Obamas. And she put in place without a single vote, circumventing democracy.
And inherited a recession and got us out of that and single-handedly handed Donald Trump an amazing economy. We're now looking at him and saying, how are you going to talk to us like that? When in reality,
Yeah, we are. maybe this is this little ditty he's doing is for younger people. Because he's not mentioning the bank bailout or the housing crash or, oh, I got a good one. Since people want to keep bringing up Obama, hey, Uncle Luke, who was it that actually gave police qualified immunity? And for those people who don't understand, qualified immunity hasn't went anywhere. Since Barack Obama put it in place, oh, it's still there. I don't know why people keep talking like he wants to give police qualified immunity. They have it now. Criminal immunity would be diplomatic immunity. And no American citizen would be a diplomat. So you're not a foreign diplomat. So you can't just delete people with impunity. That's not true. Oh boy, the fake fear that they keep trying to sell.
That's not what he was saying. If in fact you are one of those individuals who believe that a woman should not be president, speak on it. Don't mask it by saying that you believe in some sort of policy discrepancy. When
no, that's not what Barack Obama was saying, but it's very interesting to watch you try to clean up his insulting words. No, he could be a man and apologize to Black America for that BS. That's what he could do.
Especially when that policy discrepancy has been debunked. Right. So like if you're masking your sexism with, she locked up a whole bunch of Black men. Well, that's already been debunked. So was it?
No. And see, now you're answering your own dilemma. And so let me show you, and I'm going to say you like this, voters. When they do this, leave them to their own devices. Because now they're trying to flim-flam you. And let me just remind you, he's an actor. They're putting actors and entertainers out there. You got little Scrappy out there. I don't even know why the hell he's talking. I ain't going to see y'all don't vote for her. I ain't going to see y'all as Black, huh? Shut up.
Well, she's not Black. So what is
more
it?
rappers
What is it
sounding
that's
ignorant.
really, just speak on it. Just be
She's not Black. Yeah, she ain't Black. Not only that, though, Club Shay she actually finally has to come out and admit it. She ain't Black. And she's frauding. And then she explains, well, my mom always wanted me in this community. What? What? What are we talking about?
My mother, she understood that there is a community that she wanted her children to be raised in.
So Black folks could play security guard, which you idiot Negroes is doing right now, talking about we need to protect her. Oh, say I we need to protect Kamala.
And she was very intentional and purposeful about that.
This is where you're going to come and you're going to get your cosplay on. See, now, what you need to do is get your step down like them little Black girls over there, because over here, see, you're an immigrant, so you actually winning over. You child of an immigrant anyway, that, technically, shouldn't Kamala have citizenships in India, Jamaica, and America? But, nonetheless, had her around these Black folks because she knew she wanted her to be in this community. Unlike what she initially said in her book, that her mother knew that she was raising 2 Black girls. That's why I asked on X, how can an Indian Hindu woman raise 2 Black girls? The question is, she can. So you have to immerse your children into the culture of Blackness around them. Guess what that doesn't do, though? That doesn't actually change your lineage. That still means you're a Caucasian Hindu.
And so I always say to people, even when I took the stage as the nominee for the Democratic nomination, that, there is the family that you have by birth, and there is also the family you have by love.
What? What? How on earth does that make sense? How? It's the family you got by love. What? No, ma'am. I think not.
And they're equally family,
Yes.
right? And I learned that from my...
No, they're not equally family. You may be equally in association, but y'all aren't even... See, it's one thing to come from the same culture and the same lineage. We would be more likely to be kin. I've had best friends that I didn't know was kin until one of my friends passed. Didn't even know all of these years we was actually cousins. Just happened to just click up and was friends ever since. To the end, shoot, I was one of the people in the hospital that he had feeding him, in his last days. So, our lineage is different, man. And that's how some of us end up linking up, because truth be told, there's kindred spirits, but we know who he is. So no, it ain't the same, ma'am.
My mother. So my mother, I had all these aunties and uncles. My Uncle Sherman, who was one of the first Black men to graduate from Berkeley School of Law, who, when we were young girls, sat us down and taught us how to play chess, because Uncle Sherman said to understand how the chessboard works, because that's the way the world works, there are going to be different players with different moves, and you need to see the whole board. My mother raised us around, like my Auntie Chris, who went to Howard in the 50s.
This whole Howard piece, it reminds me, I don't know why we just kind of overlooked this part. Isn't there an issue there is it Howard? Am I getting Howard confused with another school? Where was Dr. Francis Cress Wilson's issue? Was that at Howard? Yeah, I'm surprised that nobody has said anything. She's from Howard. She's from Howard. So is Dr. Wellesley, who actually was done wrong there. And then they, made sure that woman died poor. The shout out to Tariq Nasheed for stepping up. So, I mean, man, this right here, and how many Black folks have been insulted over this lying, fake, black face wearing tan Caucasian? Y'all over here insulting Black folks hand over fist. Now, with that being said, us actually legitimately being correct that she is not Black, how are we supposed to now turn around and vote for something we called it all along? She never had to sit up here and fake the phone. And she went out there. I played videos on this channel of her fronting to be a Black woman, talking about we and as African Americans, and she's done all of this.
And pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha. And she was one of my incredible role models growing up. And that was one of the big reasons I wanted to go to Howard University and pledge Alpha Kappa Alpha.
So because she was around a sister, and as a kid, she was influenced, because that would be the influence. And I'm not really shocked there. Still doesn't make her a sister, though. Doesn't make her Black. You know what I'm saying? Let's hear the end of this.
Those are some of the lessons that I've learned from my mother. And I try to also share with people, right? Which is the beauty of community. And it's the way I am, right? Which is, you know, the children in my life, whether they be my own.
You don't have any. The children in my life, whether they be my own, you don't have any children. Lord. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to play, y'all. Oh, wait. There is some audio. Yeah, there's some audio, I think. Where is that? This dude. Oh, yeah, there's some more from this summit. That's right. Let me hit these. Lord.
It amazes me oftentimes how many times Democrats have to provide receipts for all of the things that they do and for all of their qualifications. And yet on the other side, there's just no accountability. When you look at what Kamala Harris, who's been a public servant basically her whole life,
right?
She is the most qualified candidate to run for president
No doubt.
right now.
Okay.
She absolutely is not. And she ran before as president, did get a single vote. What makes such a bad candidate then a great candidate and qualified candidate now?
To your point, all right. I said it here. I wanted to believe it.
Right.
And have you ever been mad at somebody so long you forgot why you was mad, but you're going, I'm gonna stay mad because I can't.
Now, this is what we doing, black folks. You know, because you guys just really didn't understand.
If I was mad this long, it must be a reason to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's insanity, but I think a lot of people unreasonably feel that way.
I think you got to give yourself grace because I think you have done more than enough by apologizing publicly.
Oh, well, at the end of the day, you know now she ain't black. So you can go ahead and hold on to that one. Okay. Nah, I wasn't. This is one.
A lot of people are like, wait, no, that's not it anymore. Right. But years of socialization have taught us that actually that is the image that America has put forward as the image of what you want to be, of the person that you want to lead. So it isn't just a black issue. We got a nationwide issue about the perception of hypermasculinity masquerading as leadership, when in fact it was our mamas and our grandmamas and our great-grandmamas who got us here.
No, fool. Them women didn't have no children without that man. And those men were building homes, carpenters, architects. The hell are you talking about? My wife's grandfather built his house his damn self, designed it and built it with his own damn hands. That man's not invisible. Who got you here? It was the women and your aunties in it. No, fool. Sitting on our grandfather, my grandfather, sitting on his property. What the hell are you talking about? We have a legacy. Matter of fact, we also hail from the first black free born former, well, his parents were former slaves. He's the first free black born baby in the state of Colorado. There's a park after him now named. I mean, understand, man. No, our history here is great. You think when we had Black Wall Street, who there was looking at, man, what the white folks doing? White folks was over there worrying about what black folks is doing. That's literally the history of black America in this country. Leave us alone. Leave us the hell alone. Then all of a sudden, there's sexism and this and that. Where was that in our community, though? Because the black community didn't have that system. So what are you talking about? I always got these young dum-dums up here rewriting history. It was your mamas and your granddaddies, or your mamas and your grandmas and your great-great-grandmas and no men around. That's who raised you. to this point? No, sir. No, sir.
Well, I tell you, I'm telling you, and the fro, baby. And the fro, baby.
You talk about pandering. You just want to have a good time, just have a good time with the folks, get these people out to vote. People need to do. They need to get out and vote. If they don't get out and vote, I don't know what's wrong with him. So let me play you this audio here. As this is something that's crazy to me. This is Roland Martin Unhinged. And I wanted you to hear some audio from a panelist he had on.
And we got to be willing to actually challenge Black leadership to do more and then say, I need to see receipts as well.
Right.
Now listen to this.
It's about, I need to take your butt to the polls to vote for Kamala Harris. You're not voting for her, keep your ass at home. Because
that's voter suppression.
No, sir, I'm dead serious.
That's right.
And this is the level we're at. The part of this conversation we could have had 6 months ago, we can have that conversation now. This is all about IDing a Kamala Harris voter and getting that voter to a poll. This is what this is about. And we all got to get serious about it. And I want to tell y'all something. I want to end this. Y'all will love our kids, man, over there at HFCA. When you see what these young people did today, they stood in line. They went to DMV, stood there to get their Wisconsin ID. Wait, you know how it is at the DMV? People want me to take you over to the library or on 60th and Capitol so you can register and vote. I'm saying to each one of us need to think in our Rolodex, our mind.
That's right.
Who is it that I know will vote for Kamala Harris if I get them to the polls?
Vote for, this is all they're doing. Vote for Kamala Harris. It's urgent. Vote for her. You gotta vote. You gotta go. You ain't gonna get nothing but vote. I'm sorry. Can't subscribe to this madness. Not only that, this man is unhinged. This man is absolutely unhinged. I'm sorry. No, and no again. So, to be fair, we've heard Kamala. We've heard all of the Democrat surrogates. So, to be fair, I guess we need to hear some Trump before we get up out of here. And, this has just been a special report. It's what we're doing here. So, let's hear Donald Trump. From his speech.
Kamala spent the final week of her campaign comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. And 2 days ago, Joe Biden called our supporters garbage. I think that's earlier. I think this is going to work out even worse. And they mean it. They mean it, even though without question, they had nobody like that. My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. You just can't do it. And if you hate the American people, and they do hate it. They hate the American.
A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way.
American people. Who would have an open border policy where prisons and jails and gang members are taken off the streets of Caracas, Venezuela, and dumped into our country? We don't even know their names. We know nothing about them. They're free to roam. They call it, and they killed 4 people. You know, it's crazy. The 13,000 plus that we have, the killers, these are murderers from jails. Can you believe that? These were all murderers, convicted murderers in jail, in prison, and we know nothing about them. In fact, we don't even know where they are, but they're out there someplace. I'm sure we have a few of them. Welcome. I'm sure we have a few of them sitting. This can give you a little bit of the yips, right? You're sitting down now and you don't know whether or not the guy next to you killed 5 people. No, we're going to get him out of here. We're going to get him out fast. We're going to get him out fast. And our local police are going to be activated.
Doesn't sound like he's talking about activating anybody against citizens now, does it?
And if we had the cooperation from the fake news, which you don't, it would happen relatively quickly. We're going to be able to do it. No, our local police, let me tell you, they know every one of them. They know their middle name. They know everything about them. They know what country they come from. They know everything. But they're told to, don't touch them. Don't do anything. Stand back. Just they see, they look at trouble, no trouble, trouble. They can look at them and they can see good or bad. Kamala Harris is not fit to be president of the United States. She doesn't have the intellect, the stamina, or that special quality that real leaders have to have.
Well, I can't say I disagree with that. You know, I'm sure that people, man, what do you mean? Well, I tend to agree with his position. But with that, I think this is where's her closing statement? I got this. So bear with me. Oh, I already played some of that. I already played that one. So let me play you. Guess it's going to be these 2. All right.
And look, Donald Trump's not done. He would ban abortion nationwide. Yes, even here in Pennsylvania, if he were successful. He would restrict access to birth control, put IVF treatments at risk, and force states to monitor women's pregnancies. Just Google Project 2025. Read the plans for yourself.
Oh, boy.
And let us agree. One does not.
See, now here's the other issue you're having, Democrats. This is where you guys are having a real big issue. She keeps talking about a plan that is not his, while he is actually talking about their border policies. You see what I'm saying? That's a humongous difference. And it seems like she's stuck talking about, well, him and this is what he's going to do, and he's going to ban abortion, and it's this and that. But we actually have the policies that you put in place that are terrible. Not what he's going to do, and you're in office now. Stop talking about the man.
Not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government shouldn't be telling people what to do.
That's absolutely wrong. You don't have to abandon your faith, and you don't have to abandon your beliefs to co-sign abortion. Sorry, ma'am, I can't subscribe to that. Let's hear the next clip.
As your president, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Let me see. And like I said, rounding up at the black church. Got to do it. We got to do it.
Candidate that is anti-black, that is anti-civil rights, that is against everything that is in the best interest of our community. And then when you talk about the church, you can't get somebody that is more antithetical to Christianity than that particular candidate. I don't care how.
But brother, you have a woman who is not a Christian at all. Kamala Harris has never told you that Jesus Christ was the head of her life. Matter of fact, they celebrate the deity that she's named after, brother. You know, the same deity that CERN also has sitting in front of its office. That's their deal. You know, the same festival of light that was tied around, around the same time as the tragedy of Astro World, stuff like that, brother.
How many Bibles he sells? You don't even read the Bible. He's in here talking about 2 Corinthians and holding the Bible upside down and hasn't lived a word that's in it.
What about the shedding innocent blood, though, brother? See, we can't sit up here and call out that, and that's hypocrisy. And that scripturally represents a false balance. And the false balance is an abomination to the Most High. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, will be how I wrap this one on up. The black church and the evangelical Christians, both are equally a problem. And as you see, the black church, they have totally sold out to the blue God. The black church is the black church in name, but they are literally the church of the Democratic Party. The problem with the black conservatives on the right is that they are using the wrong representation of the black church, because the black church holds no unity or cohesion, nor do they advocate for blackness. So the black church is not tied to their blackness. They don't worship blackness. They worship Democrats, which is literally worshiping whiteness. So don't be cowardly and lie on Black America and say that they are somehow, this grassroots, this is Black America. And all of these boule pastors do not stand up for this. They're up there standing up for the blue God. They are not standing up for the righteous power. They are not at all representing blackness. So let's not sit up here and start throwing blackness in the mix of a situation where blackness doesn't even represent other than being in name and color, because nothing about their agenda is catering to the black community whatsoever. So when I see that, all I see is cowardice. And I see somebody that understands on these media streets, it does pay to be a conservative voice out here, because of course you're avoiding talking about white supremacy. So you'll always say, well, we're not in that time again. And you'll get these nuts out here that start talking about CRT is racist, and then they'll misrepresent it. I don't respect any of that and any of you for doing that. understanding history of this country is simply the history of this country. A lot of us here, because we are not immigrants, but we have oral history passed down to us through our own family members. So to sit up here and tell me about what I got to make a white kid feel for what? Some of these white kids are well, here's a little known secret amongst coons. In a lot of these supremacist situations, they are groomed to understand their obligation to whiteness early, very early, around the time when they can speak, or before that. That's how early it starts, from birth. So don't come to Black America telling them this foolishness when you have bought into the fact that they weren't taught that. You can't tell us nothing because you're still confused about how supremacy works. Come stay with me a minute up here in the University of White Supremacy called Portland, Oregon, aka the Little Dixie of the North. Don't come in here with your second generation immigrant ass telling me about these folks and you guys are over here trying to side up with the white man and that's tether talk. And you don't understand white supremacy if your dumbass believes that. Because you a stone cold idiot. You can't serve us no good, no purpose, no where, no how. And so, with that being said, let's remember that this election and all elections are about our empowerment. And anything less is against our empowerment. Vote empowerment first. If you have to tell somebody no or tell somebody nothing, vote for your empowerment. Vote for the Black family. Black empowerment is the code. All else can deal with the fact that Babylon has fallen. Babylon has fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you guys enjoyed this special news, this special report, my take and my outlook on this election and things you can consider. And, we will see how things turn out this week. But, of course, keep your notification bells on. And with this being said, all of the people who have followed these little black men put together shams that they have been trying to do, if you guys fell for this, you will fall for anything. But if you think that we should fall for it when we know better, well, let me tell you, because I most definitely speak for myself. Beatzilla PDX official, the Beatzilla PDX official show. Those of you in the chat, the grassroots and the voices of new black media, I think I'm safe to say I speak for all parties involved. If you are still stuck on the Democrat line that now wants to sell you the mass deletion of black babies, let me tell you one thing. Since the inception of officially being Planned Parenthood since the 70s, they have deleted more than 20 million black babies. And if you still want to advocate for that, that's why we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, indeed. Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
So real quick, family, want to go ahead and before we wrap, give out these shout outs to all of the members. So with that being said, let me shout out all the members before we go. Judah Homecoming, Dervis Austin, Breeze Omega, Black Women Stand Up, PM, Sybil, Lady Effa, the Church of Black Empowerment, We Next, aka Dark Skin Brother, Black Anthem, Dark Skin Brother's main account, Cult-like Personality, Antithesis, Judah Yisrael, Key Prince, Crew Reality Grand Niggas, and Faith Speaks Life, Black Spider, and Deneen Soul. And with that, thank you, family, for being all of my members right there. I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank all of you again for tuning in this evening. I appreciate each and every one of you as well. So with that being said, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you can most definitely do so by way of CashApp. That's $beatzillapdx, CashApp $beatzillapdx. And we also got PayPal, which is Zilla Music. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. So with that being said, family, again, if you're new here, this is the weekly wrap up, and this is how we do it. This has just been a special report, but never forget, you are tuned in to the weekly wrap up.
Tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods. Giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And like I said, if you guys are having couch night, most definitely let me know what you guys are doing for couch night in the comments section. I appreciate that because, again, it's an election. And at the end of the day, we understand what voting is. Voting is not empowerment. Empowerment can be assisted by voting, but at the end of the day, we understand that.
How can Black people rise up and overcome?
Get out and vote?
That is incorrect. I'm sorry.
And lastly, let me leave you with the sounds of the elder, rest in peace, Dr. John Heinrich Clark, and heed the words.
Good evening, Dr. Clark. I really would like you to tell me what's the best way to handle an African American that gets in the way of the liberation of African Americans. I believe in this unity, and I'd love to love all of them, embrace them. Please tell me how to do it strategically.
Put space between you. Don't try to reform him. Give him the information, hope that he will use it. If he don't use it, then don't waste time letting him obstruct the movement. People who don't believe in themselves can't believe in you and can't help you. It's heartbreaking to know that there are some of us we have to write off so the rest of us can survive.
That's a fact. With that being said, y'all keep y'all 3 smooth stones at the ready. Keep your slingshot nearby. Y'all stay black. Stay vigilant. Stay alive. Black first. Black first. Black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed, beautiful, peaceful weekend.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yes. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.
Yeah.